This video is meant to be another look at some Lamar Jackson throws from 2021, and kind of honestly a little bit of a retort or another look or another angle at the thoughts that are out there that Lamar Jackson is throwing the ball better than he ever has. I'm not saying he's not throwing the ball great. From the open practice video we saw on Saturday and from a lot of the reports, he is throwing the ball great. I'm going to show you some film from one of his worst games in 2021, Week 3 against the Lions. And 16 for 31, like 275, one touchdown and one interception. The touchdown was a really poorly played coverage by the Lions. Lions defense generally did make plays in terms of challenging catches by receivers. Look, Greg Roman said something maybe late last week, early this week, I don't even remember what it was, that a lot of people took offense to. That Lamar was throwing the ball better than he ever had, and somebody did a really poor job of linking his next answer to that, basically saying, oh, he's throwing the ball better than he ever has, and now I'll be able to call the game differently. You know, however you took those quotes, the idea was that he's throwing the ball better than he ever has. Lamar's quarterback coach was out at practice today from 3D QB. Worked with Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, other guys in previous seasons, or actually this offseason. And Lamar seems to be throwing the ball great. However, looking at the film from some of the games last year, his mechanics and stuff was amazing early in the season. Was there a drop-off in certain things maybe as the season progressed? I guess, perhaps. He saw more pressure. He had more guys in his face. So his mechanics, to me, would be worsened if he's got a defender in his face on maybe not every play, but often. More often than we should. So we're going to look at maybe 8 or 9 plays from the Lions game. Specifically that game because there's some throws that we wasted at receiver. You know, I'm not going to denigrate people, but we know that, you know, we left some plays out on the field. There's maybe one throw here that Lamar either throws off target or he reads it differently than Mark Andrews does. And that's going to be this first one. What you see here is the typical over concept with Mark Andrews to the right and him running the deeper over is that route that's drawn there, and then some receiver, whoever, running the shallow portion of it to maybe catch the inside linebackers worrying about that route, and possibly a late option for Lamar to throw the ball on like a later dig or a deep in. But that's not exactly what's run here, and this is one of the ones where I have broken this play down many times, and my interpretation of it may be incorrect. I may have a different opinion than you. I believe that the Lions' safety right here is reading Mark Andrews. And he's looking for Andrews. I believe Andrews sees that, and then Andrews determines to run this upfield. And I think Lamar's reading the same thing. I think it's possible that Lamar either threw this ball in the wrong location on the wrong side, or he was trying to keep the ball away from a corner. So when I say a corner, you know, we've got this route here by Andrews at this point. This safety was looking for Andrews to run the over, you know, across the field here. And that's not what Andrews ran. Andrews ran it up the chute. Some people call this invert cover 2. Some people call this drop safeties, whatever. In any case, I think Lamar sees this corner and is trying to, and he doesn't know at the point he's going to throw the ball, you know, where this corner is going to be. Could he throw this ball to this side and that corner possibly make a play? Simultaneous to that, you have a safety nickel blitz, off the edge that gets in Lamar's face. If he's able to throw this ball now, it's probably a touchdown. As it stands, that was a free rusher off the edge. Lamar had to step up in the pocket and avoid him. He made it look ridiculously easy doing so, by the way. And by the time that he did that, Mark Andrews is now looking over this shoulder. I think it's possible Lamar's trying to keep the ball away from this corner. He's unsure if it's cover 3 because you do have one safety down. And clearly that guy was not playing middle of the field free safety, so maybe I shouldn't have referred to cover 3. But you have 2 defenders on either side of Mark Andrews, and for whatever reason Lamar decides to throw it, you know, back to this side. You'll see it more clearly from the end zone angle. In case I didn't do a good job of explaining it there. So he either meant to throw it on that side and keep it away from the corner, which is what I think happened, or he meant to throw it on the other side of Mark Andrews, our left-hand side of the screen as this play finishes, and he just threw it that poorly. I don't think so, because the rest of the balls he threw this game were ridiculous, including the amazing throw he made to Sammy Watkins late. Look how smooth and how easy that is, him just sidestepping that nickel and then stepping up. And then as he releases the football, he's got to get rid of it quick. So he kind of sidearms it a little bit. He's got a defensive end in his face, close enough to possibly get a hand on the ball. Did he mean to throw it that far away? I contend that he did. Your opinion may be different. Touchdown pass to Devin Duvernay. Cool concept. I've broken this one down many times. Andrews is going to run an in cut. It's going to pull this safety. Marquise Brown's going to run a shorter route, going to occupy this corner. And it essentially works out like smash, kind of, where Marquise Brown is running a little stop or an in, and then Devin Duvernay is running the post corner or the corner route. This safety all go with other guys, so we get an easy touchdown to Devin Duvernay. Still a great throw, though, by Lamar. And what do you notice? The difference between this play and the last play? He had time. He had a clean pocket. He does have a wide open receiver. But even if there's coverage from the safety, this ball was perfectly placed. Time. When you give him time, man can pick you apart. I think some of these throws, and I've said this many times in other videos, was the reason why we started to see blitz zero and stuff like that as the season developed, because you just can't give him time. All right, a flex set, so 2x2 set. And it's a cool route concept that the Ravens use a lot of. We use this in the Steelers game, but we didn't have we didn't have a slot, run this vertical set like this. But we hit this route right here against the Steelers late. You may remember down in the goal line, Sammy Watkins had a touchdown catch on it, and Duvernay had a catch on like a 2nd and 22 earlier in that drive as well, over the middle. You can see it's a blown coverage by this safety. Marquise Brown's wide open. Lamar's got to scramble outside the pocket, otherwise that ball was thrown earlier. As it is now when Marquise is clearly open, if he's able to get rid of the football, Lamar could throw it on this angle on the inside shoulder, up the numbers basically. But look, he had immediate pressure in his face, which you'll see from the end zone angle, came from the left side of the offense. Surprise, surprise. Yes, it's a drop. We're not here to denigrate Marquise Brown. Good luck to him in Arizona. We're talking about Lamar Jackson. Were his mechanics so different last year? Look at this. As he's scrambling, watch his face mask. Just watch his face mask. Does it ever stop reading things downfield? No. Not to me. To me, he's looking to attack downfield. Great throw. It doesn't get any better than that, if you ask me. Incredible ball placement, if you ask me. Just a drop. But we made that play with Marquise Brown in other games, and Lamar's going to make that play with other people. Now, here's a completion. Cool design. Do more of this year. They'll do this with Isaiah likely. Usually when Ricard goes in motion, he's going to go in motion and block the edge player if it's a pass play, and it'll be play action. Or if it's a run play, he'll go block the edge player on power, and then we'll run up inside that kick out block. So when people say, and look, if you're calling this Ricard lined up in the slot, it's not. He's lined up here to motion. Everybody, including the defense, knows that. He's not lining up in the slot to go run a route. Now, I do like this, though. He runs out into the flats to this side. This is something we hit the Vikings with later on in the season last year, and we used to good effect against the Titans in that playoff win in 2020. I do like that idea, running the fullback out in the flats. You'll see this with Isaiah likely this year, and in fact, you've actually seen it already in practice twice. Lamar on the move, easy throw to Mark Andrews. We hit that same route against the Cincinnati Bengals the second time we played them. Of course, it was Josh Johnson at quarterback. Cool route design here. I love what we're doing. We got one tight end and a flanker. That's a Z. And then we got a tight end and Ricard down to the bottom. So you're going to get the same thing that Andrews does. He's on the wrong side now. Typically, the clear out route, we don't take this shot on. We very rarely take that shot on. Let me rephrase that. Not saying that we never do. This is one of the instances where we did. We get good protection. Lamar has time. You can see that as he's holding on to the ball, Andrews' route going in this direction is going to come open, and it does. You do have an underneath defender, but that underneath defender is worried about Latavius Murray run out into the flats, and the over concept to Mark Andrews is going to be open. We take the shot downfield. Great ball. Great ball. The defender challenges. The defender makes a great play. I don't know whether he actually tips it or not. And I'm not sure where Sammy Watkins is pointing at. It seemed like maybe he wanted that ball further in towards the middle of the field, or at least off the sideline. Cool design. One thing to notice here is that in order for us to do this play action and throw the ball to this side out of the pistol, it's difficult for a right-handed quarterback to open to this side and then kick back. I mean, you can certainly do it, but a lot of times the Ravens offense has him reverse pivoting like this and then kicking back like you see on this play. I'd like to see us under center more. I've made that known, and other people have as well. Looking downfield, you can see that to me, he's almost looking at Sammy Watkins already. He's looking at the safety, seeing if that safety's gonna go with this route by Andrews, because this is acting as a clear out route as well. Time, clean pocket, rocket of an arm, very similar to that ball he threw in the open practice to Rashad Bateman, caught down the right sideline. Look, I paused it here early intentionally. We're in position to catch the ball. This DB does a nice job. Does he tip it? I don't know. He just definitely gets his hand in the window, goes down as a drop, clearly. But it's not as easy of a catch as we think with that DB's hand right in the way, in my opinion. Would you like to see a high-level receiver catch the ball? Clearly. Is any of us going to walk out there and catch the ball? No. Somewhat similar result to the play. Again, in the pistol. Play action, coming back to our left, and you can see Lamar is picking up this safety. Now, this safety here does a fantastic job. You have the same setup as I described on the first play. You've got bunch, so what they're doing is this safety is looking right across the field right here. So we've got to be able to win these matchups over here. This safety is not paying any attention to the X receiver. The X is the guy away from the formation. The formation is the side of the ball that has more receivers, more eligible receivers. So we got a 3-by-1. This is the X. Anyway, this safety is looking for somebody to run an over route. So we give it to him. All right, we give it to him. But it's Sammy Watkins this time. He's running the over. Mark Andrews hangs out outside the hash. So what we're doing is we're creating a high-low, essentially, and Marquise Brown is running the outside release post. But this safety right here does an amazing job of getting in the window, even though, yes, we think Marquise Brown should and could catch this football. That safety makes a great play. I'm going to rewind it a couple times so you can see how he plays it. He's the safety to the front side. So what I mean by front side is he's the safety to the side of the bunch. The safety to the other side, this guy, he's the one who's looking for the over route. So he's taking that, and then this guy's got to handle anything deeper. And I think he does a nice job of redirecting after initially going for the over route. He almost tried to basically double team it with the backside safety, and then he's able to turn his hips. I call it a baseball turn. Other people call it whatever you want. You can see he turns twice and is able to get in the window. I think it's a fantastic throw by Lamar. Would we like to see Marquise Brown catch this football? Yes. I don't know if it's tipped or not. It really doesn't look like it's tipped. I don't think there's another trajectory that you could throw it on. Like I heard somebody say that ball could be thrown on a higher trajectory. I just disagree. I think it's perfectly thrown. You can see Watkins running the over here. Andrews late release and then going to sit outside the hash. So he's being used basically as bait here. We could come back to him late in the progression. I just don't think it could be thrown later on a higher trajectory at all. Somewhere out in here, maybe. I feel like you got to get it to him now because, again, I feel like this safety made a great play. That guy made a great play there. Does it go down as a drop for Brown? Yes. I think it's possible that guy tipped the ball, and I might be wrong. Not absolving Marquise Brown of credit. Look, Brown and Watkins clearly could have had 3 touchdowns, if in a perfect world. All right. Last throw. This is the 4th and forever miracle, right? Late in the game. You can see 4th down up here. That's Watkins, who's going to run all the way across the field and catch the ball. I'll pull this back in a minute and break it down. I did this in a previous video on my other channel, which is, since gone. It's in the ether. So I'll break this down for those of you that haven't seen it, haven't seen me talk about it. First of all, it's a 3-man rush. So what's that mean? Lamar has time. He has time. Clean pocket. Here's Sammy Watkins' feet up here. Lamar just needs time to let it develop. we get in these situations again, he's not going to get time. He's too good at throwing the ball. Even then, is he better now? I guess, but I think he was pretty damn good early in the season last year throwing the ball. You may disagree. That's no problem. You see that we're down here. What this led to, obviously, the game-winning touchdown, a game-ending touchdown, setting a record by Justin Tucker. All right, Andrews is over here. Andrews is going to stay in block. Same thing for Tyson Williams, and then he's going to run out the flats. They don't mean anything in the context of this play. Genius design. All right, Watkins is going to pull this across. But what is really smart and the underrated part of this play, I hope that this throw by this man right here doesn't really, I can't do it justice. I'm not talented enough as a commentator to do it justice. But this here, I want to point out, this is a clear out route on the front side by the X. He's just running everybody upfield. But what James Prochet does is brilliant. He runs in between this safety and then this nickel defender. Watch how he runs this. I'm going to slow it down. All he's trying to do is veer his route a little bit more in this way. He doesn't run in between the hashes like that. That's intentionally drawn bad. He veers in just enough. Look at what he's done. He's trying to run as tight to this safety as he can and stay on his outside hip. I'm talking about this safety right here. He's trying to run as tight as he can to stay on his outside hip to force this guy's feet as far in this direction as possible because he knows that the space where the ball is going to be completed is in this area here. Prochet is intelligent, talented, motivated. He's going to have a great season. These are markers of someone who, man, I hope this is Prochet. I'm talking glowingly about him, and it might end up being somebody else. He understands that you're getting a clear out route here. So this corner's out of the equation. Prochet's just doing his job and running to the right hip of this defender and carrying this guy as far as he can. Looks like it's almost man. Here on number one receiver, here on Prochet. Prochet has pushed this guy in far enough. Now, maybe that guy's told defend the middle of the field too. I don't know. But I just don't understand why he'd be told to defend the middle of the field. I just think it's a fantastic play design first. A great job by Watkins second. Timing his route. And this, I feel like, and maybe I haven't hit all the elements of it that makes it great, but you could be sloppy and just get the hell out of here. He's not doing that. I believe he's running this route as close to this defender as possible intentionally to squeeze him in towards the hash and open this area up for Watkins. Was he coached to do that, or did he just do that as a natural evolution of the play once it was introduced? I don't know. Probably a little bit of both. It just looks like deep crossers at this point, but it's not. There was more involved. This was not a pick or a rub, but a semi-pick, I guess is what you'd call it. And an amazing throw by Lamar. Drops it over that defender, but he had an area to drop it in. So over top of this wall of defenders, you had two defenders that were at the sticks. So over top of them, and then underneath of the DB level. So he had a lane here in between those two levels of defenders, if you will, and he dropped it in there perfectly right when we needed it. Great win. Not a great day for the offense. I submit to you that Lamar threw the ball a whole hell of a lot better than he got credit for. And looking back now, myself included, a lot of us are saying he's throwing the ball better now than he ever has. I think that's a little bit of a misnomer. I think it's not that simple. Let me put it that way. It's not that simple. With a better offensive line and better route design, particularly from spread formations, he showed us he could do this early in 2021. Unfortunately, the rest of our roster, maybe the rest of our staff in some cases, wasn't ready to go there with him because we didn't adjust well to some of the things people did. Let me know if you agree with my thoughts at all. This is an old video that I've already broken down in other videos, but it's not on my channel now. Those videos aren't on my channel now. I don't see where Lamar looks a whole heck of a lot different when he has time, when he has a clean pocket, and the receivers are understanding the coverage we're seeing in tune with Lamar, because you see some examples here where they kind of took Andrews away. The first play I showed you, they thought they were taking Andrews away, and we call it a lube route right between the middle of the hashes. Lamar either had a poor throw or misjudged which side he wanted to throw the ball to Andrews on. A couple other instances, Andrews wide open. They use that over concept expertly in this game and even the next week against the Broncos. Because those safeties on the backside were looking for that over route coming from the front side. Let me know if you guys enjoy this video. I do have one more of these to put out before we really get rolling here with preseason games next week. This one was fun for me to do. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so now. Let me know what you guys think of the video in the comment section.